If you want diversity, then show me how committed you are to it.
Different designs until we got the perfect cake that just matched them. And sometimes it would take 2 hours of sitting in a cake tasting. And if they chose me to do their cake, I'm sorry. I would just feel so honored to be able to be a part of such an amazing, special day.
Wait, it's not like, people go, I shouldn't have to bake a cake for two homos. It's not like you're a business that makes cakes all day long. It's not like you're sitting on your couch watching the Dodger game and somebody from the government walks in, bake a cake for those queers. That's not what's happening. What? I'm fucking watching TV. I gotta bake a cake? That's not what's happening.
Feminism has been around, my whole life. So it's not like there was probably any one thing. It was probably just as I became aware of what women were trying to get away with.
It's a man's world, and they can kind of say what they want and do what they want.
That's what it comes down to?
Everybody's got a point of view. Everybody's got an opinion.
I put all this tender love and care into my wedding cakes. Now they want me to give it to lesbians.
I thought that tolerance, which was the mantra.
Alec Baldwin has been getting some grief from Anderson Cooper and from Andrew Sullivan.
We can tolerate their point of view. They can tolerate my point of view. Every American should be able to tolerate anybody's point of view, and we shouldn't butt heads.
Why did Joakim Noah get fined $50,000 when Kobe, for saying the same thing, was fined $100,000?
Well, in this situation, that apparently is not the case.
Yeah, I am woman, hear me roar, kind of, we're tough.
It showed scantily clad women. Earlier this morning, he apologized and actually broke down.
Now, feminists are kind of big crybabies.
I made a big mistake, and I offended many people, and I'm very sorry about this.
We heard about the photographer and then the other baker in Colorado.
I didn't know that same-sex attraction or sexual orientation was a protected class.
Paula said in court that she has regularly used the N-word and that she admitted to her desire to throw a pre-Civil War era plantation wedding. What?
I thought I was well within my rights to say, no, thank you, I don't want that order.
Playing the victim card all the time.
I didn't mean it in a homophobic way. And I think that
I did not mean to waste your time. I can't, in good conscience, make a same-sex wedding cake.
That doesn't matter. How you mean things doesn't matter. Words have weight and meaning.
And what was their response, or her response?
Got up and walked out.
Didn't say anything to you?
Didn't say a word to me.
Oh, it's easier to be a victim, and it's easier to flop for the camera and, claim to have sprained your ankle.
The word I chose was grotesque, and, no one deserves to say or hear words like that. And
I think it takes less brains, for one thing. You don't have to make an argument. You just have to say, you hurt my feelings.
Well, the mom came back in.
She came back in at a later time. Of course, the mom is heterosexual.
There are all kinds of different people in the world. That's what makes the world special.
She said that she was raised as a Southern Baptist and once thought the way I did, but her truth had changed.
So whether someone is different than you,
in race, ethnicity,
political beliefs,
religion,
or sexual orientation.
She's evolved.
Yeah, her truth has evolved.
Words can be hurtful. Replace them with understanding, compassion, and acceptance.
But not unlike the president.
Right, exactly.
The swooning couch culture, like feminists who are, they like to have all the like tough rhetoric, but then immediately resort to the fainting couch, the like Victorian thing. Is that what you mean?
Comment, I've failed. I didn't just go below the bar, I went way below the bar. You know, I made a mistake.
When did you know you were in trouble?
When we got the heard about the Bureau of Labor and Industries.
I'd like to ask apologies to the fans of the Blue Jays organization.
Yeah, okay, let's put it this way. When the commissioner of the Bureau comes out and says, folks have a right to their religious beliefs, but they don't have a right to break the law.
He said today, as a young man, I didn't understand the power of certain words and how they could hurt.
Well, he's got his mind made up. He never even heard the case yet. According to Charlie Burr, the spokesman for the Bureau of Labor and Industry, they hadn't even contacted these girls yet, which was a lie. They were doing the intake process as they were saying this.
And it was also said by Brad Avakian that it's not, how did he say it? That it's not.
The goal is not to shut a business down, but to rehabilitate them so they can operate within the confines of the law.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, this is an Orwellian nightmare, right? Orwell pointed in his essay on the politics of English, how basically language is full of political ramifications, and people think that it's neutral, and that when someone says, "Oh, you hurt my feelings," that they just take it at face value. But no, there's an agenda. There is an agenda here.
You asked me once, Winston, what was in room 101.
You know, I've been a supporter of the LGBTQ community my entire life, and I completely let the members of that community and everybody else down when I used a word like that this weekend.
It was there for you to flop over on when your corset got tightened too tight. And so it was there for you to, as you passed out, there you would go, elegantly onto the swooning couch.
They are trying to get us to go somewhere.
The thing that is in room 101 is the worst thing in the world.
And if I'm not prepared to go where they're trying to get me to go, I'm not prepared to let them near the rudder. I'm not prepared to let them have control over what is acceptable discourse or not.
And my heart's broken, and I genuinely am deeply sorry to anyone who's ever been affected by that term in their life.
And but it was very in the sort of, you know, 18th, 19th century, swooning and being overcome by your feelings was a, you know, kind of hip.
If they say, oh, that's triggering, I think we'll grow up.
And I don't deserve or expect your forgiveness.
All societies have ultimate values.
It goes beyond fear of pain or death. It is unendurable, and it varies from individual to individual.
Every society in the history of man has had an integration point, and people are not allowed to blaspheme against that central integration point.
It is rats.
And so you'd have your smelling salts and, you know, everything. And I think that's what the kind of woman as this little tender China doll thing is what the feminists were trying to get away from. So it's really hilarious to me that now we're doing the big, you hurt my feelings.
So in Saudi Arabia, you can't go down to downtown Mecca and blaspheme Muhammad or Allah.
What do you want me to do? You will do what is required of you.
But what I ask is that at home, if you're watching this, and you're a young person especially,
you're making me feel bad. You know, it seems like all they need is the smelling salts to complete the picture.
What? How can I do it if I don't want to? In the proletarian areas, they will attack a baby and within 5 minutes strip it to the bone.
In medieval Christendom, you could get arrested for blaspheming Jesus, blaspheming Jesus.
If someone says something that hurts you or angers you,
rehabilitate.
So you guys are sick. You've got a condition.
I guess.
Yeah.
Right. And it
That
needs to be
fixed.
Today, I could go downtown in any major American city and get myself arrested on the basis of nothing more than what I was saying.
Use me as an example of what not to do.
It needs to be fixed. It needs to be rehabilitated. Whatever's going on here needs to be rehabbed.
These starving brutes will shoot at you like bullets. Have you ever seen a rat leap through the air? They will leap onto your face and bore straight into it.
I could begin talking about certain sacred cows in our political life, and I could get myself arrested. They wouldn't call it blasphemy laws. They wouldn't arrest me for blasphemy. They would arrest me for hate speech.
And don't respond with hatred.
And if they're successful in getting you fixed,
theocracies are inescapable.
Because you're just adding more ugliness to the world.
What's that going to look like? What do they want from you to be fixed?
What do you want?
We're a democracy, and so demos is the Greek word for people. The people are the god of the system, and there are certain protected classes of people whom I must not touch.
Helping somebody celebrate same-sex marriage.
I may not say anything about them, and if I say something about them, they're going to haul me in.
And again, I just...
What they're going to do is they're going to haul me in for reorientation. They want to put me through sensitivity training. What they want to do is they want to teach me the error of my ways, and the fundamental thing they want me to admit is their right to be treating me this way. They want me to admit that they have the right to haul me in, and that I must become my own accuser, and I must say that I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I apologize.
Sorry.
I apologize. I'm so sorry.